If you've done everything right, followed the rules, built the life you were supposed to build, and you still feel empty, that's not your fault. It's because the path you were given was never actually yours. Most people feel this quietly, like something is off, but they can't explain why. And here's the truth no one is telling you. What we've been taught about growth, about being a human, isn't evolution. It's actually de-evolution, a slow drift away from who you really are. In this video, we're going to break down the false programming behind every decade of life and reconnect it to what life is actually about, real evolution. We've been taught that life is about proving yourself, building something, securing your place in the world. And if you do it well enough, early enough, and consistently enough, you will succeed. This is what we consider to be evolving. Only the most adapted succeed, or at least appear to succeed. But look closely. What happens to most people as they follow this path, as they age? What I see is that they become more stressed, more disconnected, more unsure of who they really are, not more aligned and more fulfilled. In my way of thinking, this is not evolution. This is de-evolution, a gradual movement away from the truth of who you really are, and instead into survival-based performance. Think about it. Should real evolution move you farther away from yourself? No, it should bring you closer. It's not about becoming more of what the world expects or needs. It's about becoming more of who you really are. And this process doesn't happen all at once. This is what life's about. It unfolds across time, decade by decade, each increment of life with its own purpose. Welcome to the Rebel Crone and the Awakening series. This channel is about remembering who you truly are and why you are here. If you would like more content like this, then please press the like button and let me know what aging is like for you. Let's look at the 20s. In the 20s, we're told this is the time to prove ourselves, to figure it all out, and to do it quickly. As you struggle to figure out where you fit in, you end up asking yourself questions like, what do I really want? Will I be good enough for it? Will I even fit in? What if I make the wrong decisions? The pressure to choose the right path is intense, and to do it before time runs out can make it most crippling. But the truth is that your purpose early in life is not to set a single course in order to prove who you are. It's to discover who you are, to explore, to experiment through experience without attaching your worth to the outcome of a single life decision. Life is not a single decision. It's a series of becoming. If you're in your 30s, you are told that it's time to build your life from the foundation set in your 20s. So we are told to focus on building our careers or starting a family or maybe both. That within those roles, we will be forming an identity that will follow us the rest of our lives. This is setting up our foundation. It can be a fun time in life, gaining mastery in a specific field, being upwardly mobile or raising children. But it can be devastating if you haven't found any of that yet. But the good news is that your purpose at this phase in life is not to lock yourself into an identity and build your life based on who you think that is or who the world tells you that is. It's really about learning how to create consciously, to choose what fits, to release what doesn't, to choose again, to evolve as you grow, not to force your way forward on a predetermined life path, but rather to learn how to move with life. In your 40s, something begins to shift. You may start looking around and thinking, is this it? Was this what I worked so hard for? Life is good, but something is missing. Why am I feeling this way? I've done all the right things. I have it all or a lot of what I need. I'm comfortable enough. But this is when the cracks in your foundation begin to appear and the house of your being can begin to shake. And if you begin to question it all, you're told something is wrong with you. Well, you have so much going for yourself. You have so much potential. You've accomplished so much. Are you willing to throw it all away? But this is not failure. Questioning life and your choices is something else. This is awakening. Typically in your 40s, you are beginning to see what no longer truly fits. Maybe things that were never truly aligned or things that grew out of alignment, and that is okay because this is the time to question and to reassess your life. Now, if done correctly, it can set you up for the following changes that are coming. This is the beginning of personal truth. In your 50s, things can truly start to unravel. Your roles, your certainty, your place in life, what once defined you no longer may be true. This can feel like a huge loss or potential loss. But you're not losing. What's happening is called liberation. You're being freed from the identities that no longer work for you. This is natural. How you handle it, what midlife coping mechanism you choose, may help or undermine those changes. It's important to remember you're not the same person you were a decade ago, much less 2 decades ago. So you can stop trying to squeeze yourself into the old mold with simply updated people, places, or things. This is the beginning of your wisdom walk and a time to start going deep within yourself. If you focus on honing those paths of connecting with the truth of who you are, it will pay off as you enter the next phase of life. In your 60s, we're told this is when life winds down to start preparing for the end because you are no longer of use in the productive cycle of humanity. But trust me, at 65, what I know is that this is a complete lie. In fact, the exact opposite is true. This is where life becomes real in a whole new, profound way, because now you are no longer trying to become someone. You are simply being who you are. This is called embodiment. This is where clarity deepens and your power becomes more focused, not through force, but through alignment. You are in your wisdom years now, where you can finally embody fully everything you were meant to be. And when you do, what you will find is a simple elegance to everything you do. You have just entered the final stages of divine evolution as a human, and it can be a glorious experience. Now, I've divided these stages into decades, but they can occur for you at different times or in different ways, of course. I simply use these examples to illustrate that at every age there are 2 paths, the conditioned program path or the aligned path. One pulls you farther into performance and trying. The other brings you back into truth. This is the difference between de-evolution and evolution. The truth is that you were never meant to have the entire trajectory of your life figured out early. You were meant to grow into yourself over time, every stage of life with a purpose, a beautiful, profound, and perfect purpose. Life is not supposed to be shaping you into a prescribed, self-determined form to pit you against others in survival of the fittest, where only a few seem to succeed, but none are allowed to really win the game. Life is supposed to be a natural progression of discovering your true self. I say we're here for divine evolution, the the profound art of remembering, integrating, and working in unison with our higher selves. So if you feel like you're behind or did it all wrong, or if you feel life is unfolding differently than you expected, I want you to know that you're not late. You are right on time. Welcome. Welcome to waking up. The discomfort you are feeling is because you are waking up to the fact that things are not right, that humanity is actually de-evolving, and it doesn't feel particularly fulfilling following that trajectory. Remember, it is the programming and conditioning that has led us down winding and circuitous paths, all leading away from who we truly are. There's only one way out, and that is to wake up and to remember. Remember who you really are and to start enjoying all the phases of life, each for their unique purposes and each with their unique challenges. This is about the real evolution of humanity. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and welcome to the Rebel Crone, where I say it as I see it.